right, this video's been a long time coming. Mostly, I wanted to do it right away today because I need to change a cartridge in one of these two very nice little fountain pens I've gotten. And this one I got as a student grade fountain pen, and this one came in a little package with some cartridges. And actually has a brand on it, and is a fine tip pen. So this one's a little bit broader, this one's a little bit smaller. Here's how they look. All right, I've been wanting to make this video for a while to introduce fountain pens and ink and all of that. I got ink. I got ink. I got ink. And, whoop, I don't have my sticks here, but that's okay. So, mostly today, it's about fountain pens. And I'm really anxious to do this today because these are the two I've been using, and I just love them. I need to put a new cartridge in that one. So I thought that would be a nice little thing to do. Let's see. So, naturally, the cartridges that cost the room. Here they are. I got these on Temu, and I ordered a bunch of ink cartridges there too. I got some blue ones that came in a little box, and I couldn't get them to work in this pen. Now this is a fine tip pen, so it may be, but the little plastic poker thing that's inside there that is where the ink goes in, it's plastic. It may be that it's worn down. Anyway, here's what it looks like, and you can see here, put the white underneath it. The ink cartridge is getting low. Okay, in here, let's see. Well, I just moved it around so you can't tell it as much, but there you go. So when it starts getting low, it starts getting a little bit scratchy. And this is probably the most important thing I have to say about using one of these pens. It's a mistake I made many times myself in my life. When it gets a little scratchy, that means that the ink is getting low. Don't try to just milk it for the very last little bit of ink that's in there. Let's see. I'll just use a whole fresh page. Who knows what we're going to be doing here. So, when that happens, see, it's coming out. It's nice and juicy. But then, at one point, it'll get a little scratchy. We're not going to worry about it. When it does, it's time to change the cartridge. Sometimes the ink gets a little dry. If that happens, the best thing to use is spit. You put a little on your finger, and you put it on the paper, and you let your pen go into it very lightly, and just that little bit of moisture will be enough to encourage the ink to come down. All right, let's talk about how to hold a pen, since this is full and I don't really need to change it. You keep them on a 45-degree angle, like this. So the flat part is this way. That means when you go up and down, you get a slightly different line. But you hold it like this. If you hold it other ways, it'll get scratchy. So that's something to check. If it's scratchy at the beginning, you're not holding it right. Okay? Now, oh, I'm running out of room. I have to turn it around. This one here is the smaller of the two lines. This is the larger one. To get used to a fountain pen, this is a student fountain pen too. They're great. They have a little grip here that's going to show you how to hold it. See, that's how you want it, like so. You don't need to choke it. And this round part you can rest your hand on, but there's how you hold it. Now you notice I actually hold mine slightly differently. You don't have to, pinch it like that, but that's giving you the angle that you need. So then you can hold it at that angle, however you like. This is a good way to practice. Just make connected ovals that are the same size and the same spacing, and holding your pen like that. See, you can do it this way too. Once you are used to it, you can hold your pen way back. See, once you know how to get your nib right. All right, so that's that. Inside, oops, these pull apart. Inside, this is the cartridge. The cartridge goes in that way. This has a little bit of a thinner plastic in it that you poke down into the pen. It's tricky. The first time I did one, I poked it down and nothing happened. And so then I finally went back and I said, I'm just going to push it really hard. And it poked again and went through, and I went, okay, so it's kind of a two-click poke. Okay. Now, these are cartridges, and they are handy-dandy things. I do not recommend putting these into your pocket and carrying them around. I recommend leaving them lying on your desk or in your desk drawer at home and using them at home. They're convenient because you don't have to keep dipping them and they don't bloop out or anything like that. But if you get on an airplane with one of these, prepare to have ink all over yourself or all over your clothes or all over what you had in your bag. If you drive up to the mountains, if it gets too hot in the car, yeah. So they're convenient, but they're still a studio instrument. I haven't even thought about taking these down to the lighthouse to draw, and that's like a 10-minute walk away. All right, so another kind of ink that there is for these pens, and this is the traditional kind, is bottled fountain pen ink only, not calligraphy ink. There's a calligraphy ink, and there's even one that comes in cartridges. Don't put that in these. You read real fountain pen ink. This is by Schaefer. In most of these, there's a well just inside. I think there is in this one. I just can't see it. But anyway, inside the bottle is usually another section that's higher than the bottom. And so you take your ink in your bottle before you fill, and you turn it upside down and pull it back to fill wherever this well is. Because what you do with those is you take your pen and you stick it into that well. But you don't want to stick it like all the way down. You just want to stick it in to kind of. Well, this one doesn't have the marks on it. Oops, sorry. To where it is pulling up ink, but you don't put it all the way up here or anything. Put it up where you see that little hole where the ink comes out. I've got too many things on the screen, I guess, for it to focus. Okay, so anyway, that's that. That's fountain pen ink. A lot of these, there's another way, or a more traditional way. See, this one's almost empty. So I'm going to go ahead and change it just so you can see it, because that was the purpose of all of this. Well, there's just a little bit in there. Don't need to throw that away, but I'm going to. Here's a new one. And way down in there is just a little thing like a straw that sticks up, a little plastic straw, and that's going to poke into here. You just put it in like that. I'm not getting it poked in yet. There, that was a big one. And there it goes. Okay, so now we're back in business with this guy. And ready to go. I think that's the important thing. And remember, when it gets dry, put a little spit down. You know, if it gets dry, put a little spit down and then rub your pen in it, and that's enough moisture. Now, I'm going to pause for a moment. Okay, here is the other kind. And you see this nib, the difference in the nib. So this is a student fountain pen, and I highly recommend these. It's a nice nib. It's not exactly a chisel nib. You can find it's got a little round up here that you can feel. I've seen some people thinking you're supposed to draw with them like this, like a spoon. Don't do that. This is it, and this is how you hold it. But they flow really nicely. And this is drawing paper that I'm working on, sketchbook paper. All right, I'm getting ink all over myself. I'm having so much fun. Oh, so yeah, be careful with these. I've already got ink all over myself. And you will. That's part of working with fountain pens. Just get a little careless and there you go. All right, so this one here, now you can see the different kind of a nib. And this is more a traditional one. You see it's got little ridges back in here. And this is what you stick into an ink bottle. Like there'll be some kind of a well up around in here like that. So you don't have to stick it all the way down in there. Okay. So this comes off. And what we have here is a plunger system. So we twist this, and the plunger's going down. You see it? We twist it, and the plunger comes up to fill the barrel here. So you twist this, plunge the plunger down gently, everything gently, into here. Then you put that into your fountain pen ink, not calligraphy ink, with somewhere in between the two things of fountain pen and indiaink, which we haven't gotten to. This is fountain pen ink made for these pens that hold ink in them. Everything else is too gummy. Okay, so when you stick it down in there, then you slowly, gently, and carefully pull the plunger up, and it pulls ink up into the barrel as it goes. And this one's fun because the whole thing's transparent. I like watches and things, clocks and things that are transparent as well. Okay, so this will be a fun one. And a lot of these also are interchangeable. I have some that come with this plunger type unit, and then you can use a cartridge there or a plunger unit that comes with some of the ones I've gotten, which is pretty nifty. So, that's that. Now, on to another kind of ink, and I mentioned this before. This is a really nice Chinese ink, and is what we call indiaink. This is the real deal. There is no plastic in it. A lot of the indiaink that we're finding around now actually has acrylic in it. Don't do that. This stuff doesn't need acrylic. Now, here's a great test on it. So this is basically the same stuff that if you have a stick of Chinese ink and grind it, this is what you'll have. It's got a little bit of gum arabic in it, but not a lot. And here, we just take this, it's very condensed, and put it in an egg carton. And that's our blackest black ink, and we can paint with this. And then we'll have other little ones that we have various grays in to work with. And that's the most economical way to use it because it is extremely strong. Now, I got a little scared when this happened. I said, oh no, this looks like plastic, but it's not. What did I do? I took water and I put it in one of the ones of the crumbs, and it reconstitutes. This is the same stuff that a Chinese ink stick that you grind will be made of, and it's very permanent. And I think that's just the gum arabic that's doing this. But anyway, there's no acrylic in this. So this stuff is the real deal. I highly recommend it. I've worked with it with the kids, and they love it too. We're just putting it, what we've done is using it, we put a little load of it in here, and then use a burnt matchstick as our drawing tool. It makes beautiful stuff. Now, case in point, with that not being plastic, this is rice glue. When it dries. And that reconstitutes. There's no plastic in that, but it's nice and shiny, just like this stuff. Okay, so here I am on my all natural quest, or my non microplastics quest. Everything we use, when everybody starts using it, becomes a problem. It's like my mother always said, all things in moderation. This is one place to certainly put that. I managed to get ink inside my rice glue already somehow. I don't know how. Okay. I think I've said everything I need to say about these. Never put this in a fountain pen. When you use this, and you use it in a dip pen, make sure you carefully wash your pen. It's not plastic, but you don't want it to dry in your pen nib. Pen nibs have gotten really expensive for the dip pens. So your calligraphy pen or lettering pen, your speedball pen, okay? Speedball is your best all-around selection of artist pen nibs, or pen nibs for people who do lettering, not just calligraphy. Right. Pardon me. Let's see. I have a bunch of odd things to get up that I've just been trying to get on, and kind of sloppy videos, but this one anyway. All of these came from Temu. I was just chatting with a friend about different fountain pens and stuff, and I said, I have a couple of those. I'm going to look and see if I can find one for you. And so I found a whole bunch for other people as well, and myself. I really like these, and they're nice to have. So, highly recommend these. I've got a couple of young artist friends to give these to, and they know who they are. I hope. Take care.